Okay, so I got to play one of my other favorite little toys. This is a Gibson ES355 from the year 1961. Everything, almost everything is pretty much original in it. This was added later, factory send back, a couple years later, but it's got the PAF pickups in it. I have taken it apart to go check it out. It sounds glorious. It is stereo, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's a pain in the rear to play it, so I pretty much just play the bridge pickup a lot until I get run mods, and like I just don't like, I'm never gonna mod it. And there's all sorts of jacks you can do, and then you can run through like your pedals. I get it, but I'm just lazy. I just want to plug in sometimes. I always forget to find the little guy that splits it right for me, so I just pretty much live on the bridge. It's really sad, but this guitar, it just sounded so good. I played a lot of vintage guitars, and this one came to me in a strange way. It was through a death in a family, not my family, but we often get contacted through lawyers or family members if someone dies and they have a substantial guitar collection. And this was part of the collection. So I went over to the house. I was called by a local lawyer, and we showed up. And I had my notepad, my computer ready to take some looks at my measuring sticks and my measuring sticks, my tools, if anything need to be looked at. But it was a wonderful, wonderful woman who she lost her brother, and she was probably 65 years old, so he died fairly young. And then she lost, a few months before, she lost her mother, and then a few months before that, she lost her husband. And so I came over, and they had a line of 10 or so guitars, and the minute you walk, I walk into a lot of places like this. This was, you saw, Gibson, Fender, and Martin, Loudon, and a few more of the same. And I was like, oh, this is not like, Yamaha and like what you normally see, Ovation. It was like, whoa, these are cool old cases. I know what's in there. I got an idea. Hopefully this is what's in there. And so we actually had a lot of fun with her. I was going through notes. I was letting her know what everything was worth, and it was fun. She's like, oh my God, that's actually pretty good. And then I just started to fall in love with this guitar, and our job is to sell guitars, and we're gonna sell them all consignment for us. So we're working out that. I was like, I'm probably gonna buy this one and keep it myself. I just want to let her know. So I let her know. She's like, that's awesome. I would love that, because it was her brother's. There was a refret on it at some point, but there's none of the electronics that have ever been touched inside. Everything's original, like solder points. It's kind of crazy. It sounds awesome. It's got that that sort of push, but the air, it's just a choice guitar. But so I was starting to talk to her about the negotiations of it, and like how we're gonna sell it. And then she had this sister who was horrible, who was like, had never had a job her whole life and just sort of been siphoning money off of her mother the whole time. And we were working out things like, I just can't work with both of them. I love the one sister. She's this wonderful soul. And I was like, this is the best way we're gonna do this. Let me just buy the whole lot from you. I'm gonna give you like a big check for everything. And then so we worked out a deal on that. She was thrilled with that, because the consignment can take a while sometimes. And this was, gosh, years ago. So it's not like right now, like the height of the market where we could sell anything in a moment. We worked out that deal. Her other sister was very unhappy with it, kept thinking things are worth more. And that's just life, how it is. But so what I had to tell myself, I had to sell every other guitar to afford to be able to keep this, to pretty much pay for this guitar, because these are expensive guitars. So I went through and sold every guitar. I kicked myself for selling that loud, and it was an F. It was an F series cutaway. I think it was a rosewood back and sides with a cedar top. I don't remember the vintage of that one. It's one of the guitars that I shouldn't have sold. It sounded great. It was my first experience with a loud in years, and I loved it. But it did allow me to keep this beast. And I've had many people offer for it, and I just can't sell. I'm not selling it. It's just one I'm gonna hang on to for quite a while and have fun with and play. There's certain guitars just speak. We have a lot of vintage guitars come through, and this one is one of the first like great vintage ones we had come through the days of Casino, and I was like, I gotta keep that one. It has a magic to it. And once I saw the PAFs from there, it's kind of game over. And it's fun to play, and it looks really pretty. It matches my eyes. That's it. ES355 stereo, 1961, Baxter's choice.